current immigration situation we've had and we are currently having for the last 50 years. We don't have a merit system. Lots of people are still pouring in, and they are supporting larger government and services. And it's a harsh reality here in this state. We're number 5 in foreign born. We're number 3 in non-citizen. And this is mainly due to the fact that the casinos and unions keep hiring these people. And many of those jobs could be disproportionately done by these young people. And right now, I just came from the legislature. They're talking about stopping the citizenship question. And I've told them that this is discriminatory against citizens like me. So do you think that the ideas of limited government can prevail if we have a more merit and limited immigration system? Because that's very important. By the way, I kind of disagree with your income inequality argument, because the gap between the rich and the poor has really widened since the early 70s. And you have corporations like Walmart make lots of money and their employees are on government assistance. So
we don't want to have more immigrants come because they might take jobs from young people in this room. I believe in a market where if students in this room want to go apply for a job at the casino, they have every right to do so. It's the casino's choice to hire whoever they want. And if the casino's not paying enough and not enough people take those jobs, they're going to have to start paying people a little bit more. I don't think that, I don't think immigration is inherently a bad thing for this country. I think it's a good thing that it helps our economy, and I think it also helps our society. I have no problem with immigration. I think certainly our immigration system needs reform. I think we need to look at, of course, merit-based systems are a good thing, but I don't necessarily agree that immigration is going to fundamentally change the core makeup of our society, or that our limited government is under threat because we have people coming into our country that may not agree with us. And so, I don't have a problem with that. Touch on the income inequality angle there. Why is it inherently a bad thing that a CEO is making more money than an employee at the front door?
Well, because the thing is that when you have their workers that are going on government assistance, they're working longer hours, partially caused by immigration, outsourcing, union busting, and all that, because they have to qualify for government assistance, and then the companies are making huge record bonuses. And then, of course, we see all the problems with inequality. We see depression levels go up if you compare us to many developed countries. I mean, I believe there should be a ratio system between CEO pay and the lowest paid employee. And that's one of the few things I agree with the left, actually.
Yeah, and I think that if you look at a CEO of a company, they've risked a whole lot to start that company. They spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of their own money. They've spent a lot of time building that company, and it's a voluntary agreement between a worker and an employer.
Yeah, but things didn't work in the Gilded Age.
It's a voluntary agreement between a worker and an employee. If a door greeter feels like they're not making enough money, it's of their own right to say, you know what, I'm not going to work for this company. That CEO is making too much money. But I think that to implement a government to have a government ratio of saying, you know what, you're making a little too much money, even though you're employing 70,000 people, even though you're employing 100,000 people, you're making a little too much money. We need to really do away with that gap. I think that if you're creating a company, if you're adding value to an economy, there shouldn't be a limit on how much money you can make, and also by implementing things like a mandatory minimum wage, you're actually hurting those workers, and you're hurting people, and you're hurting people's ability to do so.
$7 croissant.
Yeah, trying to answer your question. I think, again, I agree with Kevin. I don't think it's a bad thing that there is an income cap. The poorest people in America are the richest people in the world. I think just because there are people who are, getting the bare minimum wage in America doesn't necessarily mean that they're, just in terrible situations where they're literally dying by the dozens, because at the end of the day, they have a job. And when people talk about things like, oh, the workers should be getting paid the same as the CEO or the founders of the company and stuff like that, what you're saying is that people should have equal outcome of things. And that's what a lot of people, their argument is. You think they're arguing equal opportunity, they're actually talking about equal outcome. They're saying that whatever situation they're in, everyone should have at least the same outcome, or the ratio should be drastically different. And in America, everyone has equal outcome. Equal opportunity. The outcome is different. If you are at a job and you're unsatisfied with the job, you leave and go to another job, or start your own company. You have every opportunity as a person in America to do that. And you even look at a lot of CEOs, people who start their own companies. A lot of them dropped out of college or didn't go to college, and we have this stigma that you have to go to university to be successful. I think it just goes back to down to education and letting people know that, hey, there are other options to be successful in America, and we have a society that glorifies a lot of things, specifically depending on your community, letting them know that to be successful, there's only these three possibilities, when in reality, there's dozens to thousands, and we're not letting people know about these outcomes. And it just goes back to the whole, I think Charlie Kirk said this, it's like socialism is rape and capitalism is consensual sex.
But I just wanted to say this though, the wealth gap was very high in the early 1900s, and then after the Great Depression and World War II, it shrunk, and then we grew our middle class. And then all of a sudden, companies like Walmart, they increase their bonuses, CEO pay, deliver more profits to their shareholders, and then everybody else is just getting tiny little raises. See, this is something, I mean, capitalism is better than socialism, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, no one's saying it's perfect, but it's capitalism. It goes back down to the concept of good versus evil. People think that we're in a debate of capitalism is good and socialism is evil. It's more evil and less evil. Capitalism is doing more good for people than socialism. That's why we favor capitalism than socialism. Not because capitalism is the gift from God, it's equal to the Bible, there's nothing wrong with it. It's that it's a system as we know it that is hurting less people in less ways in all of history.
Your point on immigration, sorry.
I'm sorry?
Your point on immigration, because I asked.
Rephrase your question.
Do you support a merit-based system considering these immigrants are coming and voting for bigger government, especially in our state?
Yeah, I do think that we shouldn't have things where you get in just because your cousin's from someone. I think it should be based on merit. A lot of people actually believe that. 80% of Hispanics believe our immigration system should be based on merits and not just advantages. So it's not a racist thing to say that at all, because the Hispanic community is the one who believes that the most. So.
But it's a global plan.